He gets it in! It's gonna be tight here. It's in! Oh my god! Goalie goal! Goalie goal! Goalie goal! Where do we find these guys? He's going, and he's got it!
Hello, Puck fans! Welcome to Calgary tonight for the first round of the Contender Division Playoffs, the quarterfinals, as we are set to see the 1 seed at home with the Calgary Galaxy, led by Fly Fire, versus the Shanghai Lotus, the 8 seed, with Bard leading them between the bars. I'm expecting to see a fun matchup tonight. Despite it being perhaps an underdog situation for the Lotus, being the 8 seed going to the playoffs, they have still made it to the playoffs and proved that they can get some wins going in this contender division. And let's start with the goalies for each team. Starting with the home team, we have Crowbar, the legend in 2 divisions, the pro division as well for the Halifax Hooks, my own team. And let's take a look at his stats as well. He's boasting a fearsome 0.82 GAA according to my stat sheet, with 12 recorded shutouts. Just a monster in net for the Galaxy, doing great things for them. And on the other side, we have Bard, the captain, the stalwart, remaining as the goalie for the Lotus, with 9 shutouts and a 1.14 GAA. So, a little bit behind Crowbar there, but by far not the lowest in the league or in the division. And I think they both got some talent to show off. And as we look towards the offensive weapons that both teams are boasting, Calgary Galaxy, Jack looks like he's not here to play tonight. From what I can tell, maybe he will show up a little bit later, but Echo, the other part of the dynamic duo, with, if I'm reading this right, 75 points, 37 goals, and 38 assists. That is a whole lot in his 33 games played. We also have Fly Fire, not to be ignored, with 51 points in the season, 11 goals and 40 assists, really a playmaker. And if you tap into some of the comps for these teams, just a great leader, really pays attention to the game. He was given the Hooks a run for our money in their scrim earlier today, so expecting great plays out of them. And as we go over to the Shanghai Lotus, notably Mouse is not present today. A recent or relatively recent trade for the Lotus, but we have some powerhouses still, with Zoob, 24 points in the season. A great scorer, a great playmaker as well, just good all around. And we have Dan, who's been, in some of the streams I've done for these Div 3 games, been really showing some great shooting skills. I mean, he's kind of like the dark horse. I'm really excited to see what he gets done here. And also looks like we have Varen starting tonight, a long-time puck player. You've seen him in Pugs if you've been around. Expecting some good things from them. The whole Lotus lineup looking to be, so far, we have Fly Fire, Echo, and Pinks. Pinks, another phenomenon in this division, and a presence in all 3 divisions. A unique player in that regard. Just so good on defense, a really good playmaker, and can finish when you need him to. Let's see, he's at a 25 points, 6 goals, and 19 assists. So again, that playmaking ability. And if you keep an eye on him throughout the game, he's just always where he needs to be, always making the right play, and just a beautiful presence to have on the ice with you. And I'm excited. Looks like we're still getting some people filing in for the Galaxy, but I'm sure we're brewing up a hell of a match as we get some players. I think we might go for a server swap here to official 1, as I pack up my bags and shift my way over there. A request from the home team, which I believe the responsibility falls onto them. And there we go. And it looks like we do have Jack joining the server. Well, he left, but I'm sure he'll be back in it. And if he is starting for the Galaxy tonight, that is the real thing you got to watch out for with this this Calgary team, is that Jack and Echo dynamic duo, 2 longtime players, and going into the season, you'd really think that they'd kind of clash a lot with their play styles, but I think Flyfire's led them into a nice kind of chemistry. And, with like those powerhouses of playmaking in Flyfire and Pinks, I mean, it is, they play really tight together. They make a lot of smart plays. And I think if they keep their composure, this is going to be really confident and competent, honestly, showing from them. Uh, so we have the Lotus with everything to prove, and the Galaxy with everything to lose. I think in Puck, especially in the state that it's in right now, there's no games that are kind of, there's no free games. You will have to work for each one. It's not always easy to get a goal, even if you're the better team. Especially interested to see it now with this best of 3 matchup. Instead of just the typical playing 2 games a night, not really a series, just kind of 2 games in sequence. This will be, you can't win off of a fluke, really. You will have to prove it to yourself and to others and to all the adoring viewers in the audience, as it looks like we're getting ready for our face-off. With our last ready, we have Jack and Hakavi on the face-off here. Jack knocks it back. Pink's picking it up there with Zoob applying some pressure. Pink's walking into his own zone, trying to escape the clamps Loop's putting on him. With Jack there to pick it up, looping around behind Crowbar, and seeing what plays he can get done. A little back and forth between Flyfire and Jack, threading it through the Lotus. Pink's ending up with it now, loading up a shot. Little slow roller. Bard's going to easily knock that one away. Pink's catching it off the boards, though, going to keep this attack going. As he knocks that in, but Zoob with a great heads-up play to knock that back out. As Varen for the Lotus tries to get this counterplay going. Pink's, again, there where you need him, knocks the puck off of Varen, but Zoob's there to pick it up. Zoob, what you really got to look out for is, he can deke in close too, but his long shots are really dangerous if you let him get some headway there. As he tries to find a pass there, but not quite meeting his target. Flyfire, not quite on a break, but getting chased down with a nice pass to Jack. Jack seems he has any options here, but Varen's going to knock that one up in the air as the Lotus try and turn this back around. Zoob leading the counterattack here with Varen streaking deep, hoping to catch this pass and tap it in, but just under his stick. As we get Jack clearing it wide and ending the play for now. And pretty back and forth so far for these two teams. I mean, we're seeing chance for both as Echo's on this break. Could be dangerous, but Bard with a save. Not letting that first one in, and that's a great way to kind of lead into this game. Just getting some confidence there. Echo with another pass from Flyfire, I believe, but Bard in the way yet again. That's got to be a great confidence booster for the Lotus here, where they're facing some of these early attacks, but, you have Bard there. He's no slouch, and he's doing a good job of not letting those in and keeping his team involved here. Again, kind of the dark horse. Lotus here with Flyfire skating up on them, getting a shot, but just up and over. But the CGX they'll have to prove themselves. They can't just go rest on their laurels. This is a matchup that could go either way. As we get a nice shot from Zoob. Crowbar in the way of that one with Flyfire catching it off the rebound. Sending this deep to Jack, but Varen, great positioning by him, heads up play knocking it off to the side as he follows Jack onto those boards as well. Some really good defensive moves from Varen here. Pass with Zoob just past his stick, not quite going to catch that one. Gonna let Flyfire catch up to it as they get into a scrum in the corner. Echo picking up the puck here, skating it through middle ice. Jack open on the side, not a lot of guys marking him. Hopefully he'll pick this up, and he gets it and cuts back, but just wide right. That was a great play, a great pass, but just in that tight situation, Jack couldn't quite get the puck where he wanted it to, and this is going to remain 0-0 as we're a little bit past halfway through the first period of this first game. And Flyfire for the home team knocking it back up to Jack, catching it off the boards. Looking for a pass here, but Zoob keeping that shot to a not very favorable angle for Jack, as the puck is going to get dumped back into the blue zone. Pink's picking up this time, wrapping around the back. That rim going to Jack, who's looking for an option with Dan kind of squeezing him out a little bit. A little bit of an awkward situation here. Jack turning it over to Dan, that could get dangerous. Crowbar thankfully in the way, but it's kind of a sloppy showing there. You want to tighten up the screws, especially if you're in this 0-0 spot right now. You want all the momentum you can get. Jack, a few dekes there, knocked off to the side, going to be a slow shot easily cleaned up, and Zoob picking it up for his own team as the Lotus go for yet another attack. A nice deep pass to Jack as Zoob loads up a shot, but down into the pads of Crowbar. Keeping that 5-hole for just a split second, but not a real threat for right now. As we get the puck rimming around the corner yet again, Jack picking it up. Echo now, getting past a few defenders, maybe going for a shot, but Dan getting a stick on it. Pink's just inches away from getting that tap in. Turbard will be thankful he's not dealing with that one as Echo dings it off the post for his pass. This is going to get cleared back out into the ice. Flyfire picking it up for a clear. Echo alone in the slot, but the stick not quite receiving that puck how he wants it to. Going to bounce off and slide as we get the puck retrieved by the away team temporarily as Pinks gets there, but Varen knocking that close wrap away. And as we're nearing the end of that first period, nearing closing it out, we're still 0-0, and I mean, there's been some good chances from Calgary, but it honestly still feels like this game could go either way. I mean, some good offensive chances, some kind of mishaps on the Calgary defense leading to some advantages being taken by the Lotus. And I really couldn't say where the first goal is going to go in this series. It's Jack with a last-second clear, a little bit too late for a teammate to knock it down, even though they tried just for posterity's sake. And this is a 0-0 game going into intermission. I mean, you're playing playoff hockey, it's a little bit different of a vibe. You're on the big stage, BO3. You know, you're filling your team out. You've had a full season to kind of get your team chemistry going, feel out some of the other teams, and I think we're seeing a really nice showing from Lotus here. We're even without Mouse there, which is, you know, a great offensive staple to have on your team, a great finisher to have on the ice as well. They're still keeping it pretty together, but it gets a little bit dangerous here. Jack going for the shot there, looking down Echo, but not quite able to get that pass through. Opted for the shot instead, where it looks like the Lotus are keeping it together, but the real question is if they can get people to finish some plays off without Mauser on the team. I know they have some people that can do it. I know, I mean, anybody on the ice right now, I've seen them score some good goals, but especially Zub and even Dan in some of his games that I've watched. As we get Varen this time, skating up a little bit of open room here, going to try and get a shot, lifts it up, knocked to the side. A little bit awkward situation, Crowbar there to watch where the puck's going, but the play ends up dying as Flyfire picks it up for Calgary. They load up yet another attack, going for maybe a pass here, but gets knocked to the side. Bard easily going to swipe it to the side to his team, but Echo there, kind of reading that play a little bit, getting in the way, but not quite keeping the puck how he wanted to, chasing Zoob down. Really batting at his stick for this, but Zoob's going to get a pass to Varen. Tape to tape. Love to see it. As Varen gets a few cuts back and forth and sees what he can get done. A shot low and wide. Crowbar's going to get a stick on it as Pinks is going to knock it away from Hakavi to keep it safe for Calgary, the home team, and the first seed in this playoff bracket. Echo going for a shot there. Beautiful save by Bard, dashing into the way, getting that pad on it. Jack getting his shot, but another stick in the way. A little bit awkward, Bard knocking into the Dan there, but ends up being perfectly safe for them as we get a knock into the wall. Jack picking it up there, sending it back to Flyfire. Flyfire cutting back. Can he get a shot off? No, Zoob in the way. As we get Dan picking it up here, seeing if he can get it past Jack. He does. Through Pinks. Hakavi going for a shot here now, deep back and forth, but Pinks and Crowbar thankfully in the way for the Galaxy, keeping that to a 0-0 scoreline. And again, like I was saying, for as you know, you're seeing the first seed versus the 8th seed. These are some really close plays. This is really back and forth hockey. And Echo picking up at the back corner now, going for a wrap perhaps. Few skaters in his way. He'll have to find a kind of a threading the needle moment for him, but a great play and a little bouncing back and forth, making the most of it. Echo parked in that back door. Looks like Pinks hits it. Bard just doesn't quite get the stick on it. But Echo there to take advantage of it. Trapped behind the pads is a hard situation for any goalie to deal with, and it's not the prettiest goal, but I'm sure the Galaxy are glad to have a monkey off their back there and get their first playoff goal scored against this 8th seed Lotus. Puck knocked back here. Lotus looking for a quick answer. You know, you really don't want to lose the momentum. You know you have another game after this one if you lose it, but you don't want to be thinking that. You're thinking that we're just down one goal. That's practically nothing. At any moment we can score, and I'm really hoping for this still to be a close game. Zoob seeing what he can get done. A few nice little smooth dekes right beyond Flyfire. Great move, getting a shot off right into the back of Jack, directly in the way that big wide skater body. Crowbar catching it here, sending it back, ends up back in Lotus' hands, but Zoob doesn't quite keep the puck here. Varen seeing what he can get done, but Jack stripping it off of him. This could get dangerous, but thankfully Zoob and Dan pinch up on the attack. With Echo streaking down there is going to be a tough play to break up, but thankfully they killed it early. As we get Varen again going into the zone, knocked away by Flyfire as he skates it into middle ice. With Jack picking it up here, has a little bit of room to skate, has to get a little deke done, but a shot going off Bard. Dash is in the way to catch it. Echo in the zone now. Goes up the slot. Great dash by Bard, keeping them in this game. Right now, one is all they're going to get. No more free goals. Trying to, especially once you let it just a weird goal like that. I feel like sometimes if you don't let it get in your head, it really kind of inspires you to just really lock in your game. You're like, you're upset that you let that one in, but you're like, that's the last one. That's where Bard, I'm assuming, is at right now. A little 3-on-1, but Jack loses the puck a little bit there. Doesn't finish off that play, and as much as the Lotus are having trouble finishing off their attacks, it seems like for Calgary they're not quite finding the looks that they're kind of planning for. They got that goal off of making the most off of a kind of strange bounce, but let's see if they can get some clean goals here as well. Jack knocking it to Echo, but just falling at Echo's heel. Again, they have, great positioning, great playmaking. It's just getting these very last finishes off. With Jack, 30 seconds left in the period in the offensive zone. Cutting it back, going for a shot. Bard gets his stick on it just in time, blocking that low, close corner. Which is a dangerous spot if you're not paying attention. But like I said, Bard, he's dialed back in now. Echo picking up the puck here, 16 seconds left. Sending it to Pinks, but Hakavi in the way. Has Varen here as an open option. See what he can get done with these last few seconds. Skating it up! A beautiful shot, but Crowbar, known for his positioning, is in the way of that puck and not letting it in as the period ends. P2 over going into the third period for this first game in the BO3. And, again, I think this is a close game. I think this really could go either way. I say that it's, you get through the Calgary offense, you get through the Calgary defense. There is still Crowbar there, but, any goal could go in. That's the thing. It's all percentages. It's not a yes or no thing, so I'm hopeful. I like an underdog story. I really like the guys on CGX, but I really hope this goes at least to a game 3, if nothing else. As we get the puck early on sent down into Shanghai territory. Varen kind of trying to dodge around Echo, dodges around Jack after a little bit of contact. Still keeps the puck though, looking for his options in deep. Sends the puck up into the chest of Crowbar. A beautiful rebound clear, kind of ending that play before a Lotus player could get to it. That's really the mark of those higher level goalies. Thinking about the macro plays is, saving it is one thing, but where you send it to right after is just as important. As we get Flyfire setting up to Echo here, cross the slot, not going in. Nobody there for the Galaxy to tap it in there. As we get a low shot into the pads, Echo's still there, catching the puck, sending it across, but blocked by a couple of the Lotus players. As we're getting some back-to-back opportunities for the Lotus, but again, not quite finding those final key moments, those key passes. Getting into the zone, getting the pressure, and they obviously have to feel good about that, but they want to start getting those tape-to-tape passes right in the ending. Otherwise, it's going to be a whole lot of attempts at goals, which will get you through if no other goals happen in this game, so credit where credit's due. Flyfire wrapping around the boards, Jack picking it up here. Behind his net, Hakavi applying some pressure there, could get dangerous. But so far, it's like Echo's able to keep it. And just barely gets it out of the zone before the Lotus are able to capitalize on that. Jack picking it up off of the Varen turnover. Echo's open in the slot. See if he can get it down there. Maybe a backdoor pass. Jack getting a little bit greedy there, going for that little close tuck, but instead of going into that pocket, bounces off the side of Bard and back out for Varen to pick up. And I don't knock that play where if you have that wide open pass, sometimes the goalie will leave open that close post, but Bard not falling for it today as we get Varen going for a play here. Flyfire blocking the shot. Baron following behind the net, looking for an option out front. Crowbar in the way, though, with his pads kind of sticking perpendicular to the net. Lets that puck bounce out safely to his team. Echo looking for another chance here, but that is going to be up and wide. If anything, that ends up being a clear behind the net to Jack. But Dan is going to be there in the way first. Pinks, all reliable on defense there, not letting Hockey get a free breakaway as he wraps it around the backboards to Flyfire, the captain for the Calgary Galaxy. 2 minutes and 22 seconds left in the third period. But unless anything changes, it's looking like this first game of the BO3 series in this Contender Division quarterfinals will go to Calgary Galaxy. But game's not over yet. We still got 2 minutes of game time. Varen with a lot of open space here. Just Pinks in the way, and Hockey has an option. Let's see what he can get done. Cuts it back and goes for the shot! And Varen, all on his own, gets it past Crowbar, one of the best goalies in the Contender Division. He's got to feel great about that. Crowbar dashing the right direction and everything, but just not quite getting it on that above the pad area. Beautiful finish by Varen. Beautiful job getting there. And, you know, on the big stage, stepping up and saying this first game is not going to come for free. You guys are going to have to fight us for it. And hell, we might take this first game as Zoob skates it up. 1 minute and 49 seconds left in the third period. Zoob cutting back, going for another shot, but that's going to get chipped up tall. Hockey picking it up here, trying to keep this attack going, but Echo there to break it up. Skating it up. A little bit of room here, so defenders on the other side of the ice, but he has his own lane going. Cuts it in, gets around just a little bit, but Zoob on his case, not giving up a free shot. They have brought themselves back into this game. They're not going to let go of it so easily. As we get Echo knocking it back, and Flyfire catching it here, going for the attack. The cut back in, has Jack and Echo as options, or he's going to go for this long shot here. Low and wide, and, you know, the funny thing is the first seed there, their goal has been off of this kind of weird bounce, but the Lotus have gotten just this clean shot off. I mean, this has got to be a great confidence booster and great for keeping them in. Even if they lose this game, they know that they've scored on Crowbar. They know it's possible, as daunting as it seems. And, you know, now more than ever, it really seems like it could go either way. Jack skating it in here. Vera knocking to the side. Some great defensive plays from the Lotus here. Really seems like they've stepped up their game. I know, you know, they don't have the highest record in this playoff batch, but by God, they're still a playoff team. Doing a great job here as Zoob catches it behind the net. Tries to get a pass out there, but diligently knocked aside by the Galaxy as Echo picks it up here. Loses the puck a little bit. Still has Pinks, though, to recoup, but not the best time to lose the puck if you're trying to win in regulation. Pinks here to pick the puck up, knocks it back to Jack. Jack trying to get the pass off, but loses the puck again. And it really looks like the Galaxy are slipping here a little bit. I mean, they were playing beautifully, real tight gameplay in our scrim earlier. I know they can do it. They've been playing like that all season, but they're on the big stage now. They gotta step up when it counts. As we get a finish of regulation, 1-1. And maybe not everybody's banking on it, but it looks like we have our first overtime for this series. Looks like Hockey's left the server, maybe resetting the ping, maybe a sub. Not quite sure just yet, but I'll be honest, I'm a little bit baffled. Like I was saying it could be close, but I was expecting to be this close. I mean, I think if Calgary's able to kind of tighten down the bolts and finish off those plays, you know, it looks like they have Spaceballs coming in. Never mind. Looks like the Lotus are down a player here. As it almost ended right then and there. Thankfully, Hockey's back. Echo almost just tapped it in to end it real quick. But, you know, if the Galaxy finished off their passes every time, this would probably be like a 4-1 game. But, you know, it's a little bit different when you're in playoffs. It all matters a lot more. You're going for number one. And, you know, you're proud of how you did in the regular season, but this is a whole different beast. As we get Zoob picking up behind the net, looking for his options. Has a few, getting a few smooth deeks back and forth, trying to go around Flyfire, and he does. Looks like he's tilting back for a shot there low and into the pads of Crowbar. Not going to be that threatening of a shot, thankfully, for the Galaxy. As Echo's going to pick it up, pull off a few moves of his own, I'm sure. Has Jack as an option across the dynamic duo. As always, drops it to Flyfire and tries to get it back to Jack, but Zoob, great play being in the way. Looks like the pass might have been a little bit behind Jack anyways. And we get a pass out to Dan the Man. Sends it, but just a little bit too much pepper on that as it goes over Zoob's stick and safely to Pinks in his own zone. Echo knocking into the center. A little bit dangerous there, putting in the slot like that, but thankfully Pinks is going to pick it up and get a little stretch pass off to Flyfire. Varen going to pick up in the corner for his own team. And again, it's just back and forth. It's not really dominant for one team or the other, at least from what I'm seeing here. But there's good defense. There's good little opportunities. Not really any full-on breakaways, which, I mean, shows you that both teams are playing really clean puck. They're not getting too greedy. They're remembering to, have their anchors there, not give up a stupid goal. I think that's the goal. Even if, whichever team loses this game, you just don't want to lose it to like a stupid goal. You want them to earn it, You're still going to feel good about it. You're still going to feel locked in for your team. As Echo picks it up and knocks it off the wall here. Huckabee knocks it up into the air. Dan seeing if he can get it, but Echo fighting for it. Looks like Lotus will end up with the puck here. Dan has to get the puck off of him, but not in time before the Galaxy take it off of him for him. As Echo gets a stretch somewhere between a pass and a shot, but ends up low, and Bard's able to swipe that away as Zoob picks it up now. Blocked by Flyfire, has an option behind him. Not quite going to get it. Pink's still there to pick it up, but Huckabee's just hawking him down. And like I said, those defensive players, I mean, they are not being lazy. They're sweating. They're sprinting across the ice both ways. They're dialed. What else can I say? You get Jack keeping the puck here with a high send just over the net. Bard not going to have to worry about that one for now. Flyfire going to free puck here off of Dan, but Varen able to sweep it back up and clean it up for the Lotus. Varen going again. Could he score again? He's got it before. Let's see him try again, but no. Pink's in the way. All of Calgary letting out a collective sigh of relief as Pinks closes out that play. As Varen, the only person to score from Lotus this game so far. How does attack end up there? Zoo picking up this time. A few Galaxy players chasing him. Zoo's going to turn around, roll back a little. Buy some time for his team, but loses the puck just a little bit. Let it get out of his range. Jack's there and will happily pick it up. As I get sent a little weird pinball in the slot of Calgary, but took to get it out just fine anyways. Pinks gets the puck around Zoob, but doesn't get the body around Zoob, which, halfway only counts as halfway. Flyfire getting the puck there, dropping it to Echo. So Jack and Echo a little bit bunched up there. See if he can get a pass off, but Zoob in the way. Echo's still fighting for it, but that puck's going to go to Huckabee. And again, Pinks. You think Huckabee might have this breakaway option. Pinks is just there. Varen, though, dangerous again. Pinks especially is just locking up Varen, especially after that first goal went in. Yeah, Jack now going for his shot. A beautiful shot, but Bard dashes, gets it in his... It's centered to it, and I really thought that was about to go in. It looks like an awkward one could have fallen behind the pads, but Bard staying diligent, playing cleanly, and not letting that go in for free. As we get Echo here, looking for a passing option, but not quite going to get one. Still fighting Dan for it, but Dan's going to end up with it as he gets a cross pass to Varen. Has a lateral pass to Zuber. Huckabee kind of broken out a little bit. Varen cutting back. Tilting back for a shot, but low and wide. Crowbar in the way just in case, but that one was not on target. He wasn't going to have to worry about that one regardless. Picking up Huckabee, fighting him for it. Could get dangerous again, but Echo going to quickly pick that up and try and get it out of the midst of Huckabee. Will not be successful, though, as... I mean, the Lotus are really fighting for this puck in the Calgary zone. That away team battering them. And first period overtime over. I bet everybody can let out a breath of relief. It is it's a back and forth game. I really couldn't tell you which way it's going to go. There's been some beautiful plays. Bard, honestly, I mean, he's seen a lot of chances, and he's been doing a great job of just, dialing in, not letting it get to him. He let that first goal in early, but ever since then, he's just been rock solid. And crowbar for the other team as well. I mean, the goal he let in, we all saw it. I mean, it's no slouch of a goal. I doubt I would be saving that one either. I mean, both of them really doing confidently. And you just got to see who makes the worst mistake first. Who gives up that breakaway? Who forgets to clear that puck? Who has it slip off them, And I'm sure whoever does it will be very rueful that it happened to them, but something's got to give in such a tight game like this. As we get Jack in center ice, a little bit of open space here to work with. Let's see what he gets done with it. Knocks it with Varen in the way. And Dan picking it up here. Flyfire knocked down in the offensive zone. As a little clear cross from Dan. Varen not going to get to it. Pink's there in the way instead. As Echo's looking to catch this, but Zoob applying some instant pressure as Hakubi knocks it off him. Gets a little bit of room to escape. Varen has an option. Deeks through. Pink's tries to get past Jack, and he does. A little bit of room here. That shot's going to go a little bit wide. Ends up being a pass across the crease to Varen. And Pink's knocking that off. Dan probably going to pick this up here, but again, some really dangerous opportunities happening that those Calgary defenders just break up those plays right when they need to. As we get a dangerous pass, Crowbar getting a stick on it, dashing into the way even. And very proactive goaltending from Crowbar. Kind of stepping in when he needs to. Flyfire with a great pass here to Jack, but just past his stick again. Calgary begging for one of their plays to finish how they want it to. They got to be pulling their hair out. The fact that they're in double OT. A great pass and a great shot by Flyfire, but blocked by the Lotus before it can get to Bard. They are just... They have all the right plays. They just need to finish it off if they want to get this game done. And every time, every missed opportunity, that means more time for the Lotus to get their answer again. And that's got to be scary if you're Flyfire leading that Lotus team. I mix up the teams again. You know what I mean. It's nerve-wracking for both of them. It's double overtime. It's playoffs. No! Oh my god, it almost went behind the pads again. Bard would have been smashing his desk, I'm sure. So thankfully for the red team, that puck does not sneak behind Bard's pads again. At least not for a goal. That was... Whew, I was worried about that one. That would have not been satisfying, I'll tell you that much. Hockey skating up with some room. Gets by a few defenders. Tries to get that clear. Crowbar diligently in the way, knocking that to the side like it's nothing. Zoob going for his own chance here, but Pink's going to close that one out. If I had $1 for every time Pink's closed out a defensive play, I'd be... Well, I could buy a nice dinner for myself. As we have Jack here, peeking into middle ice, has Varen to get around, loads up a shot, but just into the side of the net. Bard there just in case. And Jack, you got to wonder if he had adequate time to warm up. He wasn't in that scrim earlier today. Maybe he's feeling a little bit cold, but, we all know he's got a great shot. He's got great playmaking ability, but just not getting those finishes that he needs right now. As Varen sends it over to Hakubi. Hakubi looking for a pass here, but Pinks, yet again. Honestly, so far, he's the most valuable player in this game. Just always there, closing out the plays. Dan getting a little chip pass, or chip shot, rather, as Jack picks it up, looking to get it to his teammates down ice. Pinks there, open. A little bit of room to work with, but Dan closing him out. Not a lot of options as it gets sent back, and it looks like Crowbar is going to have to play this puck unless Flyfire gets to it. Crowbar flinging it high up into the air. Going to drop down for Dan to hit to Hakubi behind the net. Pass into the slot. Pinks, Mr. Everywhere, knocks the puck away yet again. Giving Jack the puck here this time. Has Echo as an option. Zoob trying to close it out. Getting a few deeks off. This could be it. Jack passing to Echo. Zoob blocks it. Zoob showing up when he needs to for the Lotus here, keeping this game going. As Flyfire gets another chance, going for the Galaxy. Sorry, I'm so astonished by this game, it's hard for me to focus. Jack sending behind the net to Echo. Dan picks it up here. Dan's going to look for a clear down the ice. Gets it through, not quite through Flyfire. As Fly is going to pick it up, has Echo there. Could this be it this time? Sent across through a few Lotus players, but not going to get through to his teammate Echo down there. His finisher he's looking for. We get Zoob picking up here. Zoob with a shot, some open space, rips it just into the crowbar. He had... into the crossbar, rather. He got it around the crowbar, hit it into the crossbar. There's a little gap there. He almost found it. And honestly, the finishes are looking closer for Shanghai than they are for Calgary. At least in this overtime so far. Echo with a little bit of open space here. Does he have enough speed to get it? Flyfire might, but no. Hakubi's in the way. Man. That is the second overtime done. Who would have thought the first seed versus the 8th seed goes to 1-1 triple overtime in the first game? I don't really think either team's picking up a lot of momentum off this first game either. And if you're these players, if you're this caster, you're thinking if this first game's going to overtime and this is the best of 3, you might be up late. You might want to call your boss, say you might be a couple hours late tomorrow, get some rest. We'll just have to see. Jack knocks it to the side off the face-off. Fly Fire picking it up and knocks it behind Huckabee. Dan picking up for the Lotus, though, knocks it to the side, but not quite to any teammates there, with Pink in the back corner able to pick it up. Turning around, trying to get a same boards pass. Echo and Flyfire kind of in the same spot, a little bit awkward for them. Pink's picking it up off the pass there. A wide cross to Jack. Varen in the way, but Jack still gets the puck there. This could be it. No, not on target. A really tough turnaround for Jack there to get a shot on target. He gets the shot, but that's one that's going to go a little bit wide. We have Flyfire and Varen fighting for the puck here. Varen ends up getting it. Knocks it past Echo, looking for a teammate here. Dan not quite able to pick it up, though, as Jack's in the way. A few Lotus here. A shot low. Gets knocked down, I think. And Crowbar's able to get a stick on that as well. Bard playing the puck here. A little bit awkward, but gets it out of the way before Echo's able to do anything with it, as Pinks gets a slight pass. Zood going to pick that one up pretty easily, as Varen sends it down to Huckabee off the wall. Again, just back and forth and back and forth. But Huckabee with some open space here. This could be his shot, but no, he dekes it off his own stick. And just every player in the ice here begging for someone to be a finisher. They all know they can do it. They've all done it before, but you know, you got to be the one to step up. You want to be the one that can win the game, win your first playoff game for your team, and you really don't want to be the one that gives it up for your team. So it's tense. I think the nerves probably getting to some people here. The fatigue getting to some people early. You know, they got a lot more puck to play after this, so hopefully they got their Red Bulls cracked open as they keep going. Zood deeking the puck around Jack here in the Lotus zone. Gets around Echo as well. A few keep moves back and forth, seeing what he can get done with a stretch pass to Huckabee. A great chance, but Huckabee doesn't get the shot that he needs. It's just awkward on him. He can't get a clean angle on it, and that play will die a sad and quiet death as Jack sends the puck over to Echo now. Varen fighting for it, but Echo going to get around him. Sends the puck back to Jack, and Jack lifts it just up and over. He cannot get on target as much as he tries. When he does, I'm sure it'll be bombastic, but the big question is when. And hopefully he's getting his warm-up in now. And maybe some extra warm-up between games, but, you know, we're seeing kind of similar to how we saw Mouse performing in that Hooks game against the Wild the other day, where you know, they get into these finishing situations, they get so close, and it just doesn't quite come through for them. Jack going for another chance here, goes for another shot, but doesn't get the lift on it. Bard's going to be in the way of that. It was a beautiful chance. Honestly, great move by him to get that open shot there, but again, not quite the finish. He's getting closer, though. I'll give him that. He's getting closer. But Varen here, going for another play. That could be it. But no, slow and low. That is not what you need to beat Crowbar. You need to get a nice shot on him. A clean shot like Varen's shot earlier. You know, maybe you just got to play a little bit quietly, get your focus back, store up some energy so you can make that final play in this game, get some rest in between games, hopefully. As Huckabee knocks it off of Flyfire there. Flyfire picking the puck up as he's going to hit it straight down. Jack and Echo in the same spot. Not really a lot of passing options. A little bit awkward for the both of them. But Jack, a little bit spaced out now, has some room, but again, low and wide. Bard there just in case, but the goalie's not having to make a save there, and that's not what you're looking for your Calgary. Pinks gets a wrap around. Flyfire picking up off the boards. Has a couple options here. Surrounded by a few Lotus players, though, seeing how he can maneuver his way through. Cuts past Huckabee, a great play, but loses the puck just a little bit, slows him down. As his options will have to kind of reassess their positioning. Echo there. Picks the puck up, trying to get it centered, but Varen in the way. Echo not able to kind of cleanly catch that off the boards, but a beautiful pass into the slot to Jack. But Jack loses the puck. He must be... He's got to be more tilted than anybody else on the ice right now, but Flyfire steps up. And the captain of the Calgary Galaxy ends this first game in triple overtime. A nice cutback. Bard dashes the right way, but not quite in time. Kind of the same spot as Varen's goal, just above the pads. And thankfully, a beautiful shot to end that first game, but who would have thought triple overtime, Calgary versus Lotus. Whew. I'm out of breath. Got a BRB from some of the players, probably a quick break for them. Honestly, use a little bit of a break myself. Gee whiz. And you know, I think a little bit of downtime, players to get their mental reset. Again, I think this game 2 I don't think it's over for the Lotus. I think they're still playing really well. But I think, you know, part of their game plan is just playing to the best of their ability. Part of their game plan is hoping that, you know, the Calgary team just kind of makes a few more mistakes, you know? You can always hope for that. It's not nice to bank off of that, but, you know, we weren't seeing the cleanest finishing from Calgary. Bard was still making great saves, but a lot of times where he didn't even have to make a save. And the Lotus are hoping Calgary keeps that up, and Flyfire's hoping that his guys are starting to dial in, you know, get those finishing plays, not losing the puck in the slot, not shooting a little bit wide. You just want on target. You want to keep it simple. Just get the puck on target. And if they make that adjustment, I think that this series is gone. I think the Lotus are not going to be able to kind of match that consistency. But I think the issue is we're not seeing that consistency from Calgary that we usually do. We're seeing consistent goalkeeping, obviously, from Crowbar. But, well, consistent defense from Pinks. It's just that offense. They're not getting the finishes. I can't dog on them too much. They did get that first win. And honestly, my two highlight players of the set so far would be, you know, for Calgary, I would say Pinks. I mean, I just cannot believe how many plays he single-handedly stopped against the Lotus. He is just, you know, he's everywhere. He's making the right plays, stick is in the right place. He's getting some offensive plays done too. And honestly, if I had to pick one for the Lotus, it would be Bard. Bard's made some good saves. He's been dialed in. And, you know, as the captain, you kind of... It's kind of on you to keep your team in the game mental-wise as well. Also, it's just a nice thing for the goalie to do as well. It's you're not always, you know, directly related to the play. Sometimes you're sitting back. It's nice to just get the boys hyped up, watch the mini-map for them. And, you know, credit to Bard. He's doing a great job so far. Took it to triple overtime. So obviously he's doing something right. And I think for this next game, this game 2 in the quarterfinals of the Contender Division playoffs for Season 1, what am I hoping to see? I think I'm hoping to see a crisp Jack and Echo passing play goal. I know they're itching for it. I'm itching to see one. I know they have that clip potential in them. But, you know, I want to see it happen on the big stage. And, let's grab some technical difficulties in the background. We'll keep an eye on that. We will, yeah, so for Calgary, that's what I'm hoping for, fingers crossed. They're such a fun team to watch, such a fun team to play against, that, I want to see more of that. And then for the Lotus, I want to see all their guys score. I want to see what Huckabee can do. I want to see what Dan can do. I know Dan can score. I want to see a Zoob goal. I want to see any of them. Varen got his. I want to see some other guys from the Lotus get goals in. And looks like our broadcast is moving around. I'll wait till we have the okay from our technical director. All right, we're fine to start. Thank you, Chipman, for all of your diligent work. And we're going to get into this game 2. Game 1 goes to the 1 seed, the home team Calgary Galaxy. But not as much of a blowout as some might have expected. Zoob moving in close and no assists at all. Zoob right off of the face-off. Moves in, gets a nice cut back and forth, cuts it back again. Crowbar he bites on a little bit and Zoob tucks it in just to the side. And what a way to set the tone of game 2. Not only are you not out, you are up. And this is boding well for my hopes for a game 3. Huckabee just ripping the puck on the net. Figures, why not? I might as well go for my own unassisted goal. But that one's going to get knocked aside, thankfully for Calgary. But, you know, my first wish has already happened. Zoob stepped up, he got his goal. Going for Michigan here. That's really dangerous, and oh my god! Dan rips it and just hits the crossbar. What an insane start for the Lotus here. Looking just So dangerous, they might as well have like spikes all over him and like poison shooting out of him. You are freaking out a little bit if you're on the Galaxy. Fly Fire. Trying to remain calm though, gets his shot off and rips it low. Bard in the way. And we have Echo picking the puck up here, trying to keep the offense going, but Dan's going to pick it up for his own team and skate it down. Covered by many, many Galaxy players, but gets his own shot. Crowbar, a brilliant stick save to the side for Pinks to pick up. Crowbar obviously not fazed by that first goal. A master of kind of keeping dialed when he needs to. Echo literally up another shot. Zoob in the way of that one. Good defensive play. Zoob, kind of like the Pinks of the Lotus, if I had to do a comparison. Jack picking it up here. You're going to get to the puck first. We'll see what he does with it. Crosses it to Pinks, but Pinks not able to finish it. And it's got to be sad for them, but, you know, you can't be upset with Pinks. Our glorious Pinks. He's done so much for the team anyways. Hockey picking the puck up here. Not going to get that wrap around. And Pinks going to pick it up again for his own team. Hockey chasing him down, but he's going to rim that around the back. Fly Fire picking it up. Has Echo down deep and Jack across. Sends it down to Echo deep. Jack open. Just has to get it past Zoob unless Echo goes for it here, but Bard dashing into it. And getting an amazing save. Again, Bard doing great things for his team. You know, being both the captain and the goalie. And, you know, looking down at the goalie options and having the confidence in yourself to, you know, say, you know, I'm gonna bet on myself. I'm gonna be the goalie this whole time. And so far in this game, it's working out for him. Jack tries to get that pass, knocked away by Hakavi. Zoom knocking to the side, but Flyfire keeps the puck there. Getting a little bit dangerous with Lotus as Echo knocks it down and low. Bard! Back to back, he is just on fire right now. Flyfire going for another chance. Echo missing the communication there, knocking it behind his captain. And man, what gameplay from Bard here. I mean, when it matters too, I think is the most impressive part. You're under a lot of stress. You're down a game. This is do or die, and you're doing. And you know, props to Bard for that. As a great shot from Zoo, but ends up falling a little bit down towards pad height. Puck's gonna get cleared across. Jack picking it up here. Deking it past Dan quite easily. Knocks up to Flyfire. Flyfire, puck going just behind him. And time after time, we're seeing these almost amazing plays from Calgary. I mean, I don't know when it'll start to click, but you imagine it will. They've got that game under their belt. Even if things go horribly awry for them, they still have that game 3, but you know, when you're coming as that 1 seed, there's a lot of expectations put on you. You got a lot of confidence going into it, but the follow-through is the most important part. It only matters if we can pull it off. And we have Echo here, cutting it back here. Hockey kind of pushing the puck off of Echo there, getting his own chance going. Skating it past a few Galaxy members, knocks up into the side. Varen going to pick it up. Not a lot of options there as Pink closes it out. And safely knocks over to Flyfire. Flyfire knocking it down, but Zoob going to pick it up before he can get to it. Zoob wrapping around behind the net and locks it into the side. Not a teammate there to hold the wall to pick it up, though, as Pinks is going to clear it down to Jack. Some pressure there, but Zach is able to get it down to Echo behind the Lotus net. Echo not quite catching up. Varen in the way. And, you know... Oh, wait, he gets the pass, but Jack not on net. Lock in, Jack! As Dan with a great block there. That looked like it was going to be on net, but Dan... Because we're not going to find out, actually. Hockey picks it up off the wall. Pinks icing him out, though. As per usual, Pinks doing amazing things for Calgary. Picking up in his own zone. Hockey chasing him down. Knocks it down deep. Jack running for it. Running. But Zoob will beat him out. That connection not quite being made between those two. That dynamic duo for Calgary. As Zoob's going to pick it up here. Has a couple options on the ice. A lot of room to skate with. They close out a little bit, but beautifully deking back and forth to keep it going. That's a shot. Crowbar beautifully in the way, but Dan trying to squeeze it in doesn't quite get it. But that was looking dangerous again. You know, you got to be really sweating if you're about to go down 2 goals in this game if you're on the Galaxy. As that is the end of our first period. No more goals after that, goal in the first 10 seconds for the Lotus, but man, I was not expecting that. It was so close in that first game. We took it to, you know, triple overtime. It was just such an instant, you know, momentum shift goal there. You're down a game and just treating it like it doesn't matter. Just, you know, shooting on the goalie, doesn't matter who's in net, your shot could go in. And that's, you know, great adaptation by the Lotus. And then continue to do a great job. And after that moment, you know, the Calgary defense is much more tight. And, you know, they're making smart plays, not letting too many open shots happen. But if that's happening after you let in that first goal and a second goal, and I got what I want. Dan, the man, the legend in the slot, open for the pass from Huckabee, loads up that shot and knocks it past Crowbar. Not much you could do there with such a fast pass and such a fast response. A beautiful goal from Dan, and a beautiful pass from his teammate there. And the Lotus are up 2-0 in the second period of the second game. And just what a game so far. I mean, the Calgary have a flame lit under them now. As not only do they have to fight for just one goal to keep it tied, they need to get 2 goals for them not to lose this game. As Echo goes for it here, Jack open for it, and what a beautiful response. Right when they need it. The dynamic duo, I got my other wish. Echo passes Jack. Jack with a cute move. He dekes it over, and Bard kind of reads that and dashes to the right, but Jack cuts it across the body. What a... You know what? He finally did it. There's a lot of misses along the way, a lot of passes that didn't quite connect, but that was a fantastic goal. I'm in love with that one. That's going to end up on the highlight reels. As another pass almost goes in, actually. That, you know, that goal for themselves, that's a confidence booster. They need that. There's no more donut up on that scoreboard. They're back in this game as well. Zoob tries to get another answer too. A real back and forth game. But Echo's going to kind of push Zoob to the side to end that chance as he looks for a teammate around the boards. Varen able to pick it up. We'll see if he can get a pass off before Jack gets there, but going to get knocked aside. Pinks in the end going to pick it up. Has Echo in deep, but a Huckabee stands in the way. Number 8 picking that up, getting it past Flyfire, knocks it off the board. Nice little play there, but knocked away. And Jack picking it up in Calgary territory. Flyfire. Puck knocked off of him. Jack fighting for it, a little bit awkward at his feet, but he ends up getting that clear, even though it goes straight to Zoob. The play is at least slowed down, a little bit of room to breathe for Calgary. As the Galaxy captain, Flyfire, sends it down to Echo. A little bit of open space here. Not a tape-to-tape pass, but still some action. That one's going to go across the crease. And it's not finding another target. As we get Crowbar playing the puck here. Sends it up and deep. Not quite beating Echo there. It's kind of hard to, you know, perfectly dial in those goalie stretch passes. I would know as much as any goalie would know. But a valiant attempt and a safe clear, which is the most important part. As we have Zoob for the Lotus, picking it up here and skating to center ice. Past Flyfire, some room, making some moves, tilting the stick. Is he going to shoot? He will, but low. And Crowbar getting a stick on it and whacking it away. Crowbar says, no more goals for you, Zoob. One was more than enough. And Flyfire leading this counterattack. Echo kind of down there deep. Jack as well, kind of spread out in this triangle formation. Wonder if one of these passes will go through, but Zoob cuts off the lane. Again, being the Pinks of the Lotus. Being where he needs to be, being all around, cutting off passes, icing out those attacks, and just making some good plays, making some good stretch passes. Cuts it past Echo there, nice move. Running down the clock a bit even. Getting a little bit dangerous there with two Galaxy players on him, but he does get around them. Is this going to be a long shot? Maybe a pass up high. Huckabee going for it. Oh my goodness, that almost went in. Crowbar jumping in the way, but that was looking real scary for Calgary as the puck drops back behind the net. As we get some back and forth yet again. Past halfway in the second period. 2-1 for the Lotus. And they are just hoping that they can keep on to this. Maybe, you know, not sure what the mindset is if they're going for more goals. They just want to see how many they can stack up. Or if they're just like, you know what, we got this far. Let's just play tight. And not let them get any more on us. Let's keep this lead. Zoob. Beautiful block. Not letting Jack get that pass off. You know it's dangerous. You know when he has that target, he's really good at laser focusing and just getting that pass off. If you cut that option away early, not much you can do with it. That puck dropping down. Varen and Echo fighting for it. Comes off the wall. Flyfire chasing it off of there. Echo in the slot. Flyfire looking for a shot, and he gets it. And the game is tied. The Calgary looking to be in their true form. A beautiful cutback, not going for the pass. Bard dashing over, but that puck getting tucked just up into the side. Perfect placement from Flyfire as the Calgary respond in kind and make it 2-2. And this is a nightmare situation for the Lotus. They led by 2 goals, and that grip is slipping. They know they can score. It's not over for them, but the last overtime didn't go their way, and the Calgary just seems to be getting better. Each passing moment, that pass making it through, almost getting to Echo Stick, that would have been the lead for Calgary. The Galaxy not going to take the lead quite yet. It's going to stay at this 2-2 as we have 15 seconds left in the second period. A scrum in center ice. Baron trying to dig to the side, but Flyfire laying down the body, getting in the way as we have 6 seconds left. Coming towards the end, maybe one last attack for Shanghai, but not quite looking like it. Crowbar safely clearing it out. And man, what a game. In a just absolutely different way than the first one. This has been scoring fest. A celebration of goals and passes, except for the first goal, obviously. And I can only hope that we see some more goals in the third. It's very likely that the teams might play a little bit more, timid, a little bit more safe. Now that that's all tied, the Galaxy isn't playing as full out offensively to get this lead cut off for the Lotus. So I'm interested. I'm interested to see how both teams will adapt to this tie game going into the third. Jack now to the side has a little bit of room here. This could get really dangerous. Just with the post and Echo there to clean it up. Not really a dynamic duo play, but that has got to be a letdown for Bard. Almost getting the way, dashing. But second guesses himself. Looks like he dashes back a little bit, and that just hitting the post in the right way for Echo to come in there and clean it up. And feels just as soon as the Lotus got that 2-0 lead, the Galaxy have taken away from them. Flyfire going for another shot here. Looking like they're really getting phased. Flyfire somehow perfectly threads it between 2 receivers there, but it's got to be a little bit frustrating if the Lotus, you're feeling yourself get back into this. You're thinking about that game 3, but the game's not over till it's over. And with that being said, now's the time to turn on the Jets. Time to get that offense blazing. At least take it to overtime. That's what you're hoping for. You want to at least make it to overtime. As Dan is left alone to defend against Echo and Jack. And does not quite succeed. Dan trying to cover that pass, but Echo doing it all himself. A beautiful play. Digs it in, cuts out to the side, and again, Bard getting beat by those cross-body shots. They're hard to read, they're hard to save, and, if a team picks up the scent that you are, leaving that cross-body open a little bit, they're going to keep going for them, and that's what Calgary's taking advantage of right here, and like I said, it just feels like that grip is slipping for Lotus, where they had it in their clutches, if only for a period or two, but unless something drastic changes, it looks like this series is going to go in the favor of the Galaxy as Echo on an open breakaway. Uh-oh, Bard making a save there. Stopping the bleeding for now, at least. As Echo can't get it through Theron and Zoob. Zoob on the counterattack has to get his team back in this. Now or never. With the playoff run on the line, no losers bracket. That's going to get sent up and over back behind Crowbar's net and wrapped around. Jack picking that up, has Echo in front of him. Does a quick cut back. Flyfire able to pick it up, looking like it might be a turnover, but not quite. Flyfire going for another shot here, maybe. Loads it up, rips it into the post. Bard shuddering at the sound of the puck hitting the post, I am sure. As Varen skates up, loses the puck there on a turnover, has to pick it up. Thankfully not letting Echo get it, but play's getting a little bit sloppier for the Lotus. It's getting dangerous for them. This might be it for them unless they really turn it around here. It's not over for sure, but man, things are looking dire for them. A real night and day situation from that first period. They know they can score. If you play tight, you make the right plays. It doesn't take that long to score. But again, some sloppy gameplay, some collisions between teammates there for Shanghai. Tapped back, could be dangerous, but it's hit through a few bodies there. Not going to go in. Huckabee, up off the wall. Can he get a pass? No, it goes in the way, and Flyfire's there, and Jack is there also. It's a nightmare for Huckabee. Jack going for another shot. He's greedy. He wants more. Going for a pass back to Echo. Echo going for another shot. He's greedy. Almost gets it, but Bard getting the pad in the way, and this is this is Calgary showing up. They probably heard me shit talking them in that first game, and they said, "No, Katie, we're good. We're the first seed." And finally, they're showing us why they are that first seed. And maybe this consistency issue for Lotus being why they might have fallen a little bit in the standings. Some beautiful plays from them, but man. And it looks like we are having a goalie pull situation. Spaceballs coming in and Bard coming out. They are doing anything they can, pinging off the post. As Pinks picks it up, tries to get a stretch cleared. Thankfully blocked, but Dan has to stop this, or Zoob. And Echo missing the open net. Doesn't need it that badly. Obviously, they're up 2, but I'm sure the Lotus breathing a sigh of relief. Dan trying to get that puck fly fire, knocking off the boards. As we have a minute left in regulation. And Echo, the greedy pig that he is, steals it from Flyfire to get his hat trick in this game. With an open net goal included, but a hat trick is a hat trick. You can imagine hats flying out on the field from the stands. And good golly, Miss Molly. This is not how you want to see it go towards the ending of your match if you're on the Lotus, but you got to be proud of putting up a damn good fight. Those 2 goals in earlier, really, you're just going to be keeping yourself up at night, thinking, what if? What if we locked it down? What could we have changed? Crowbar stepping out of his crease a little bit too, having a little bit of fun with it. But I think both teams had a lot of plays to be proud of, and I think the biggest thing for Calgary here is that it was looking a little bit ugly for them at the start, or at the very least, not how they wanted it to look. But they've really kind of they've come into form towards the end, and shown why they are the first seed, why they are probably the favorite right now. As Echo letting Jack get another goal here in garbage time. And even with Jack and Echo stacking up all these goals, I do think that I would give my player of the series to, I think I would give it to Pinks. I'll be honest, a lot of standouts, Flyfire making great plays, Crowbar making beautiful saves, Jack and Echo doing their thing, but Pinks has just been so reliable and such an asset for the team here. Keeping it together when Echo and Jack couldn't. And yeah, I think Pinks is just the standout there, doing a great job keeping it all up. As I believe we're going to go for our handshake line. Keeping things formal, keeping good sportsmanship, have the players line up. Again, like I said, both teams a lot to be proud of there. And I'm thrilled to see what the Galaxy continue to do in their playoff run. Love the sportsmanship. And if we look at the bracket, the Calgary Galaxy are set to face the winner of the Vancouver Frost Giants and Northeast Nighthawks series, which I believe is happening at the same time. So keep an eye on that bracket, and we'll see tonight what that next matchup might look like. As we finish up our handshakes, beautiful games from everybody. I hope you all enjoyed your stay. I hope you enjoyed the commentating. I'm Katie, your commentator, and I have Chipman diligently and expertly directing the stream. And I bid you all good night and good puck. And we will see you again for Division 2 and other division playoffs.